Hi, welcome to my monthly reset for April. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a spring refresh, so getting some stuff done around the house as well as going over how March went for me in terms of my to-dos, goals, money moves, etc. and what I plan to do for April. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to be doing to get ready for spring is changing my bed linen. So normally I change my linen as in like the style of linen like every few months, and in preparation for spring, I'm going to be switching to this duvet cover. It has little flowers on it. I just feel like it's very spring appropriate. And I got this from H&M last year actually, but I'm sure they have something similar right now. So if I find something, I'll leave it in the description box below. But let's get started. Okay, so now that my bed is freshly made, I am going to do some laundry, do some yoga, and have some coffee, then get ready for the rest of the refresh. Okay, so now that I've done all the things, let's get into what happened in March and how I plan to reset for April. So in terms of goals for March, my first goal was to weight train every week, which I've been doing. I had to scale back my weight training though because I developed what I believe is sciatica from weight training. So I was having like nerve pain in my left upper glute region, which is, you know, typical of sciatica. So I have just been doing once a week versus twice a week until I get that sorted out. And then my other goal was to get 600 YouTube subscribers, which I did. So thank you to all my new subscribers and old subscribers, of course, who continue to watch my videos. And then the last goal for March was to post a video a week, which I have accomplished so far. I think there's one more one more video that I have to post, and then I would have accomplished this goal. So that's exciting. I'm gonna check those off. And next up was things that I put on my calendar to do for March. And one of those things was I had a dentist appointment, so I did that. I ended up trimming my hair, and then I went for a massage. It was a hot stone massage. It was really nice. However, it was very expensive, so I'm gonna be not having any more massages for a minute. But it was nice to know, I get pampered. And then the last thing I had to do was to schedule an appointment for, as I mentioned before, I was having sciatic pain and some other joint issues. So I managed to do that. So that's good. And then in terms of money moves or things that I did this month with my money, I ended up buying $10,000 worth of I-bonds, which is the max amount that you can buy per calendar year. And I ended up getting I-bonds because the rate of return on savings accounts were so bad. They're like, what, 0.5%, and I don't see them going up anytime soon. In addition to that, if you don't already know, the stock market has been kind of on a downward trend due to inflation, the war in Ukraine, among other things. So the return wasn't that great, and I wanted to just have some guaranteed return. So the I-bonds have a interest rate of over 7% at this point. So I got $10,000 worth of those. And essentially, I just moved money from my emergency fund into I-bonds, because you can withdraw money from the I-bonds. They have certain rules, but you can withdraw it if I needed it in an emergency. It would be okay for me to take them out, but I'm not really planning on doing that. But of course, that's how emergencies work. You're not planning on them. But since I've had my emergency fund, since I started getting serious and paying off debt, which has been how many years in the making now? I think over 5 years, I haven't had to take money out of my emergency fund. So thus the I-bonds. And then the next thing I did was I cashed out my Bitcoin. I was in Bitcoin, let's see, from late December to this month. So what is that, 4 months? I was skeptical of it in the beginning, all the years that it has existed, but I figured I would give it a go based on the points that people were making. That is a hedge against volatility in the world, and kind of like a way to protect your assets. A way to protect your assets alternatively from, cash, stocks, gold, etc. But having followed Bitcoin for the last few months, I didn't see it doing anything. It literally was high 30s to high 40,000s for the entire time that I had it. And even though we're currently in a high inflation period and high volatility in terms of world events, it still hasn't increased in value or done anything. So I just figured I would just take my money while it was still reasonably acceptable. I ended up making a return of 2% by the time I took it out, but for the majority of the time that I had it, it was down up to 14%. So that's it for my cryptocurrency adventures for now. Maybe I'll go back into them at some point. I don't know. I just don't see the validity at this point. So anyway, I ended up taking that money out, and I ended up just having $733 worth of Bitcoin that I sold and transferred to my savings account. So that's that. And then, as I've been telling you guys for a minute now, I ordered my car, and it's supposed to be coming in within the next few weeks. So I ended up applying for a auto loan, and I got approved / pre-approved. So I have all the paperwork, and then when my car arrives and I go to pick it up, then I should be good to go there. And I, of course, tell you more about how I managed to finance the car and all the numbers, etc. once everything's settled. And then finally, the last thing I did was invest my tax return, which I don't know that if I said I was going to or not, but in my last budgeting video, you can see how much my tax return was. But I decided to just invest it entirely because I didn't need it for an emergency fund, and I'm trying not to have a bunch of cash just sitting in my checking account. So So anyway, it ended up getting invested, so I'm happy about that. And that is what I did with my money for March. Next up, we're gonna talk about my plans for April, and I have more goals to meet, so let's see what they are. So weight training, I've consistently, like as in a month, been weight training every week. There was a point earlier in the year where I wasn't, but now since it's spring and summer's coming, I'm just feeling very energized, like physically and emotionally. So I think I should be good to continue that. If everything goes well in April, then I'll just like take this off the goals list, because then it has, you know, become more of a habit. The next thing that I plan to accomplish, or my next goal, is to bump up my YouTube subscribers by 100. So currently it's sitting at around 600, and then I'm hoping to have 700 based on, you know, being consistent, putting out content that hopefully people enjoy, etc. So if you're watching not subscribed and you've watched other videos of mine that you enjoy, definitely consider subscribing. And along with the same thing, post a video a week. That has been very hard for me. I've been working on that for ever since I've had my YouTube channel, so I'm going to keep that goal there until I get in the rhythm of things. And then another big thing that I need to do is declutter my winter clothes. I need to declutter all my clothes, but I figured since winter just happened, like I have a better sense of like things that I wear and don't wear, so I feel that might be helpful in decluttering. So I'm planning on filming a video about that, so stay tuned. And then the next thing that I need to do is plan some long-term videos. So I have a few things that I need to follow up on, such as I talked about my student loans in regard to how it affected my credit score, so I need to update that. And then I want to update you guys on my financial independence journey, because this is my financial independence year, so hopefully that comes to fruition. And a few other things I need to look through my videos and decide what needs to be followed up on. So there's that. And I bought a nifty little planner for such purposes, so it's super cute. I got it from TJ Maxx actually, but it just says choose to be optimistic, it feels better, by Dalai Lama. So I don't know, I'm all about positivity, so that's pretty nice. It was under $10, so when I've looked at other planners, like I went to Target to find a planner and they were like $20 plus, and I was just like not about to spend that amount of money. So it's super cute. It has a bunch of stickers in the front, and then everything is divided into the month of the year. And what I found useful and how I managed to somewhat plan like my resets is that it tells you, or it has everything laid out in terms of your goals for the month, your to-dos, birthdays that are happening in the month, other important dates, and reminders for the month. So I thought that was helpful. I've been using it along with my notes app to get some things more organized, and I really like it. I also like the overview for the month. I also do this on is it called iCalendar? I'm not sure. I think it's just called the calendar. Yeah, so the calendar on Apple, I've been using that a lot to plan like my work and other things that I have to do, but I also like to have it physically there. So this is how I mapped out things so far. I have the days that I have to work, and then let's see, then I highlight the days that I don't have to work, because you know those are the best days. And so then I can like plan like content and like whatever else I want to do in my free time. So I like that. And let's see what else we got to do. So my other goal is to beef up my emergency fund. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be buying a car, so with that comes a car payment, and then an increase in insurance and like whatever else, like probably registration and licensing fees. So because of that, my new expenses, I have to increase my emergency fund from what it was before. So I estimate that that's going to take about $625 every month through the rest of the year to get it up to the goal that I want. So that's the plan. And then the next thing that I have to do, or the last goal that I have for April, is to set up my iPad. So I bought this iPad like a month, maybe like even a few months ago, but it took forever to come, but it's finally here, and I need to take the time to set it up. So I have the Apple Pencil, the keyboard, and then the actual iPad there, and I plan to use this one to help with like YouTube videos and other things, but also for like productivity purposes, because I've seen a bunch of like videos like highlighting the iPad in that way, and I don't know, I feel like anything that I can get to motivate me to get things things done or to organize my life, like I'm there for. So that's on the list to do. And then we're gonna move on to actual to-dos. So the only thing that I have going on for April that I need to do is to stock up my skin and body care stuff at Sephora, because of course every 6 months it's the VIB sale. So I got this in the mail conveniently to remind me that this spring, so starting April 1st to the 11th, will be the sale, and it's going to be 20% off. I don't know if it's 20% off for all members. It's probably not. It's usually like a little bit lower for if you're just a regular VIB. So, but anyway, if you're a VIB Rouge, which I managed to get to by spending perhaps too much money, if effectively $100 or $1,000 last year, so I'm VIB Rouge now, but you get 20% off. And the code is Save Spring for everyone, and everyone gets to shop the same days. So April 1st to the 11th. Before, like, VIB Rouge would get like a head start on shopping, but somehow they've decided to get rid of that for whatever reason, probably because they want everyone to spend as much money as possible. So yeah, so I need to stock up on some things, and that's what I do with Sephora. I only shop during the sales and I stock up until the next sale. So I got a few things to get. If you haven't already, you can check out my last Sephora VIB Rouge haul, and that was from the fall of last year. I'm planning to restock a few of those things and get some new things as well, so stay tuned for that. I already have my cart queued up, of course, because everything sells out like within the first few days, and I am just like not into that. So as soon as like the clock hits, I will be purchasing the things in my cart and getting that done. So guys, that is it for my April reset. Hopefully you enjoyed it and found something useful. What are you guys also planning to do for April? Are you making any new changes now that it's spring? I'm super excited for that, and I'm sure like me, you guys are too. So let's do our best, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.